Hello guys, welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. So as I said, I'm back again with another video. This video was actually inspired by back, I think in 2019 or 2018. I actually watched one of a spiritual teacher, a YouTuber, where I was asking myself whether do narcissists ever receive karma for their wrongdoing. The reason why I was asking, it was because I feel like they always get away with it, even though I know one person who actually got karma, like a huge ball of karma. So it was not enough for me to be in a place where I feel like they get karma. So when I watched that YouTuber, that spiritual teacher, I was not satisfied with the answer. So I think now I feel like, you know what, let me just share my own perspective, my own authenticity, in a way that I actually feel like it actually makes sense. Do nurses get karma? I like to believe, as we are here on this planet Earth, we are all here for karmic reason. We are all here, we reincarnated because of certain um karmics. So we are here to break those cycles that we did in our previous life, in our past life. So when we die, when we die and we get to be born, we continue where we left off. So do nurses get karma? Yes, they do get karma. Like everyone, even I, if I do someone wrong, obviously I'll receive karma for it, because it's something that I told universe that I actually want to receive. Because people, we are mirrors. We What I do to you, it's something that I'm gonna get back. Whatever that I'm saying to someone, if I'm someone who backstab people, obviously I'm gonna be backstabbed by other people. So do nurses get karma? Okay, nurses can get away with a lot of things, but eventually karma will find them. So why I am actually feeling the need to make this video, it's because, as I mentioned, it's because of that. And yes, nurses do get karma, just like everyone. And most of the time when I'm looking back, it's because a lot of nurses are actually loved. Just for like example, like Kanye West. Kanye West is a fucking narcissist, and a lot of people still support him regarding how narcissistic he is, regarding how abusive he is. He abused Emma Rose back then, and a lot of people didn't understand Emma Rose. Instead, they view her as a whole, and they made a lot of things like, oh, she opened a slut whatsoever, and she didn't have a lot of people, but I'm glad she did what she did. And as much she did what she did, I feel like it was not enough, because Kanye West still continued with being getting away with it. A lot of people in our society are scared of people who have money. They are scared of people who have everything. So most of the time, whenever you're speaking out about people who actually well known, whatever they're known for, like, no way. That's why a lot of time when a lot of people who are abused by pastor in church, they won't believe you, because his view as some leader, his view, they don't see anything that is actually fault. They don't see anything that is actually wrong with him. Instead, you are the problem, because they don't know you for anything. So they view you because of status. They view because you have money. There was this case, I don't know exactly his name, but he's actually a well-known actor. Is it Cobb? I don't know. Whereby there was a show back in the early 80s with Lisa Bonet, the guy that ended up going for court for his doing, because he was actually sleeping around with um young people, and he used to get away. He used to manipulate the system, government, because he had money, he had connection. So it took a lot for him to go down. But actually, a lot of victim who was victimized by him in whatever that he was doing. I didn't follow through, but for me, it was more like I was searching to Nessus Get Karma. Article had a lot of people, victim who came up, but nobody ever eventually listened that R. Kelly is doing this and that. And him being not getting away with it, it made him feel more powerful because, as I said, a lot of narcissists who have money, they don't view as bad people. Instead, the people who actually victimize when their status is not eventually not popular as Kanye West, not popular as that man called as R. Kelly, because a lot of people believe in R. Kelly, a lot of people listen to R. Kelly. So whenever somebody talk about it, they were viewed as mean, as a mean exes, as mean whatsoever. And most of the time in our society, a lot of women have to do so much in order to be listened. They have to show up more, they have to be extra, they have to be, in order for them to have a voice. In our society, it for women is still hard, but I'm not gonna lie and say men don't experience some hard life due to our society. So a lot of women came out and try to warn a lot of women about R. Kelly, because R. Kelly was good in manipulating the system, was good in manipulating others, and was good to hiding things, and he also had connection. So whenever the case started to have concrete evidence, however, it got lost and the case never taken serious. For example, I heard that Trey Songz is also like that, but he's still getting away with it. But he's still getting away with it, and you know why? He's still in that phase where his mind is still vigilant. He's still in that place where a lot of people view him as he's still well known, and a lot of people still like him, they still listen to him, or still so whatsoever. And as much as there are people who actually came out about him being, their interaction with him was not one of the best interaction, and a lot of women mention how they felt when they are around him. They felt so uncomfortable, they felt so violated, they didn't feel appreciated in a manner of, like, they didn't feel respected in a manner that they actually woman. Instead, they felt like object in a manner whenever they're interacting with Trey Song. But because the Trey Song is still in that phase where he's still getting away with a lot, and I've realized a lot of narcissists get their karma later in life, and they do, like, sometimes you even feel sorry. You sometimes you even feel sorry for them, because it's painful to see, like, it's painful to see people going down from this place and the next day they're in this place. So I understand why it's actually one of uh, one of the things that you end up feeling sorry for them. So we all get karma for whatever action, because with whatever that you're doing, eventually they won't, probably he won't get karma as much as he did to other women. Probably he will get more comfortable in jail, in terms of, like, he's well known, and not all cops are genuine, some of them are monsters, just like R. Kelly. So when this saying that same bed flow, same bed of the same I don't know, fed or whatsoever, flock to, okay, I'm just gonna let it go because I don't remember that, but it's something like that, that say people who have the same consciousness, same way of doing, they always support one another. That's why you find a lot of company when people, like, this saying that miser whereby people who are actually miserable, they love company. So it's something like that. When you are a person who value herself, who love yourself, obviously you gonna let go of people who not putting effort in making a relationship works, who putting effort to be accountable for whatever action, who don't make effort in terms of be you not feel, when you feel not appreciated, you not feel loved, you not feel respected, you not feel valued by other people, obviously you're gonna let them go. But other people, even they know that, they keep choose to stay because they're miserable. Nobody who's actually happy who would wanna be around people who actually make them unhappy. So it's something that I'm saying, because I don't know how is life in jail, so I don't care. So what I'm trying to say here is that it doesn't matter who you are. Eventually, karma will get as much. Just like Kanye West is still getting away with it, and a lot of people are not calling out Kanye West because he's a billionaire. And I think it's the first time we had someone in the entertainment industry who's actually a billionaire, and a lot of people are like, and he's a black man. And a lot of people are like, they're having like, they still view him as this big thing. And we might as not had any information about his chat vibe. We don't have any kind of information about that. So but eventually he will fuck himself up, because narcissists always fuck themselves up. They always self sabotage anything, that whatever that is good, they sabotage it, because that's what they like. They like pain, they like torture. They don't want other people to be in the same pain that they are in. So that is something that is eventually Kanye West will get karma. We know that. So another thing is, I'm just gonna say, for if someone is watching this have a narcissistic mother or narcissistic father, siblings, whatsoever, um, you feel like your mother is getting away with a lot and your father is getting away with a lot. I know sometimes you want to see them experiencing pain that they cause you, and that is actually normal, especially if you are still hurting, and it's a feeling that a lot of people don't talk about. And I'm not gonna lie, I had such experience. I'm not gonna lie about my emotions. I had a lot of emotion towards them that I actually, when I'm looking now where I'm at healing, I'm very proud, and I'm just at peace. And ever since I've been at peace, no longer in pain, in no longer in viewing them in a manner of, they're no longer affecting me emotionally, mentally, spiritual. I'm just in a place where I've never been, and I'm at peace. And since I've took the mask, not the mask, I've took the blindfold, I realized they do receive karma. The same people that they put on pedestal is the same people that gonna fuck them up. The same children that they put on pedestal, that they believe they don't make any mistake whatsoever, it's gonna be the same kids that they're gonna fuck them up. Sometimes those kids, they kill their parent. Sometimes those kids are the same kid that actually do witchcraft on them. They do spell work in order to end life, or whatever life policy whatsoever. They do a lot. Even those people that they value, even um that man uh she left you for, or the woman she left you for, obviously they gonna be fucked by those people that they put on pedestal. The same people that they were, that they they're gonna be hurt by the same people that they view them as important in their life. For example, my father used to have okay, I said he disappear whenever he find a new woman, and as it disappeared, eventually that woman left him. When she left him, she left him because he was useless anymore. He didn't have the energy that she wanted. He didn't have money. He didn't have anything to give. So eventually, the same thing that he used to do to other people, it's the same thing that the other woman did. The same thing that my mother put me through, pain that he caused me, his children are doing the same thing. Now they're doing spell work on her. They're doing a lot of things on her. It's painful. It's a cycle that is actually painful. Nurses get karma by being in the same cycle forever. They don't get to break free from that karma. They don't get to break free from being in the same mentality. They don't grow. Not growing itself, it's depressing itself, because as much as you are growing financially, but you are not at peace. They can have a lot of money, they can purchase a lot of house, they can have cars that they want, they have women that they want, the only woman that they actually want, but they will never be happy. Nothing that actually satisfy a narcissist, because they are not connected with themselves. They don't know what do they want. They view everything in society manner. For example, if we have a status of some sort, you become the important person. So they are obsessed with something like that. When they have money, people respect them. But is he happy? No, he is not. Is she happy? No, she can have a plenty of surgery on her body. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with surgery. I'm not trying to shame people who have doing surgery. People who have a surgery for different reason, even if whatever reason that you're having for, as long as it's a healthy reason. Because I don't understand why you want to do surgery to change the way you look, because you want to manipulate other people. You want to change how you look because you want to run away from whatever. So like running away from crime that you did whatsoever. So I don't understand, but okay, I as much as I understand that, but it's still like, so there's nothing wrong with surgery if your reason makes sense, obviously. So you can do a lot of surgery, you can have a large amount of money in your bank account, but you will never be happy. This is their karma. Like they will never be happy. Whatever they do, they will never be happy. And the games that are running on other people, eventually those people will see them as who they are. And eventually they're gonna get karma. They're unhappy people. That's why they're always angry. I've never come across a narcissist that is not angry. Like I do get angry because I'm human, but I rarely get angry. Do I get sad? I do get sad, but I move away from that sadness and allow myself to be happy. But eventually, we are living in a place where we have to experience sadness or experience happiness. It is something that they don't experience. And I also realize narcissists have a certain love. Like when I say they have a certain love, because nothing within them that is actually genuine. Have you ever seen a narcissist laugh to the point that their tears are coming out? Have you ever seen a narcissist look like, damn, she laughed? No, they have this wet laugh. Like, this is something that I've realized. Even if they sleep, they wake up like some sort of, I don't know, like robotic. And when they laugh, it gives you some sort of bad vibe. And I was like, is it me who actually noticed that they actually have a wet laugh? And I was asking myself, why they laugh like that? You know, they don't laugh like normal people. Not that I don't believe there's actually a normal person, but at the same time, you can tell someone when they're laughing is actually genuine or not. So they end up laughing and you're like, what? I used to I used to have a bad feeling whenever I'm around people who actually narcissist. When they're laughing, it feels off. At that time I used to be like, oh, I'm being paranoid, or I'm just gonna not allow myself being overthink about something that doesn't matter. Who cares about how other people laugh? But eventually when I'm looking now, I'm like, no, 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 no. They have a certain laugh because they don't have anything genuine in their heart. So how can you actually laugh when you're not a genuine person? How can you actually have a emotion when you don't have it? They try most of the time have a certain stare, like a blank stare, where you end up wondering, are they alive or not? Like for example, I think I actually once watched a Kanye West and Kim Kardashian interaction, when they are, I think they were asked 73 question or something, and that, I think that was one of the thing I was like, why are they still together? I was like, don't get me wrong, I once viewed them as a great couple, but eventually I stopped seeing them like that, and I stopped putting celebrity in pedestal in terms of like, sometimes you have this thing like, for example, I love Beyonce. I used to love Beyonce, so I used to like, like, I used to overlook a lot. So and eventually I was like, you know what, I've started viewing celebrities normal people. So that whenever I watched the interaction with them, I was like, it was so dry. Not just dry, there was no warmth in it. It feels like, and I even thought maybe she got questioned before, or maybe it's something, but it was so weird. Like, it was so fucking weird. And when, do you believe that we have a jacket? He said something like, the Kanye West, he said something like, who do you believe we have a jacket? It was like, like, I was like, what? You know, do you believe that like, it said something like, you, I'm just gonna let it go, but it's something 72. I don't know, it's a voice, I don't know, but you can get something like the question with Kim Kardashian West on YouTube. And I was like, what? So yeah, they have a way when they laugh, whenever they talk, because they are not themselves. So they eventually they have, when they're public figures, they're public people, they are famous or whatsoever. Notice how they actually speak. They feel so robotic. Like, there's no expression, like there's nothing. You won't even see them like what, so they're actually in a cycle. Narcissists have cycling, they're in a cycle. Narcissist people are in a cycle, a toxic cycle, a karmic cycle that they will never get away from, because it will require them to be spiritual aware. It requires them to have awareness of their own BS. It requires them to have awareness of whatever energy that you're putting out there is the same energy they're gonna get. It's something that they don't have. Narcissists don't have accountability. Narcissists don't grow. Narcissists don't listen other people's opinion unless it's public. They act like they do, but eventually they end up being angry at you when you are private, and they end up being expensing that punishment if you are dating them. So they don't care about anyone's feelings. They don't care about anyone. Just, it's about them all the time. They're so obsessed about themselves. They are so self-absorbed. They always bring self-pity whenever, like, you say, I don't have even if their vulnerability, it's self-pity. It's not just a vulnerability with someone. So whenever you're dating them, end up thinking maybe they're being vulnerable, but no, it's not. It's just self-pity. They just bring self-pity in order for you to not ask anything from them. For example, a narcissist can act like he or she is broke. Why? Because they want to use you. Nurses can act like they are broke. They are the most brokest people on planet. They are the most people who experience a lot of pain on planet. So they can act like they don't have money. Like, yo. So they're so pretentious. Just think about it. How, when you actually in a place where you have to pretend that you like someone, how awkward that is. Just think about living a life like that, and you have to constantly wearing a mask. And then when you are not wearing a mask, obviously you're gonna be that angry narcissist. They call it narcissist rage. You're gonna yell at everyone, get angry with everyone, you yelling, you doing whatsoever, you become violent, whether you punch. I don't understand people who punch walls. What for? No matter how angry you are, just work on your angry issues. It's not normal. I don't understand people punch walls. I don't understand people who do that. No matter how angry you are, just work on your anger issue. We do get angry, just go to gym, just do boxing or something. So yeah, there are people who are always gonna be in pain. There are people who are always gonna get karma by the people that they value, people that they put on pedestal. The same way that they sabotage your money financially, they drain your money. It's the same way that next time they're gonna get someone who essentially using the same tactic that they were using on you, like the self-pity that they did in order for you to not rely on them. And they're gonna get someone who's actually better in that and doing that. But eventually, a lot of narcissists usually get karma later in life. They can have get away with a lot in their early 20s, teenager, 30s, but most of the time, 50 up, karma is just strike. Not that it's eventually strike. It's just that it must become heavy. They must become heavy, and now they blow out their cover. They blow out. They don't care anymore. They become comfortable with being a shit people, and then when you become comfortable being a shit people, a lot of people start to see who they are, because eventually back in the days they used to make sure whenever they're torturing you, nobody can see that. Even if a kid, your child, can see that, they make sure that they manipulate your kid into the point that your kid end up believing what they are saying, or maybe end up believing there's something wrong with them, or maybe sometimes they brainwash kids in order to not see who they really are, because they don't want their cover to be blown. But eventually, when they get later in age, they start to blow their cover. Everyone can see through them. They start to be mean, because now it's a lot of anger, a lot of things that are actually inside them. They just eating it up. Wearing a mask become heavy. So eventually, they start being angry when they see you on the street. That's why you find a lot of mean people on the street. I'm not saying all people actually mean on the street, they're actually narcissists, but most of the time, the fact that you just gonna see me walking, taking jogging, and the next thing you're running your mouth in a most nasty way. The You saw me for the first time, you actually sexually harassing me for what? I don't understand people who do such things, because it's not something that is normal. It's something that I've never done. So why it's so normal to you? So so it's something, as they get old, they must become heavy. They can't hide who they are. That's why a lot of people distance themselves later on in age, is because people can see who for who they are, and a lot of people become distant. And people get close to them. They don't get close to them because they love them, because you attract who you are. Whenever you dated a narcissist and you are a kind person, there's a high possibility that were nasty to yourself. For example, maybe you were kind to other people but were nasty to yourself. For example, you were criticizing yourself a lot. You didn't love yourself the way you're supposed to be loving yourself. You didn't put much effort. You didn't cook so much for yourself. You didn't wear clothes for yourself. You didn't do so much of a thing for yourself. Instead, you were pleasing other people. You were giving a lot of time to other people. You were always creating yourself last. That's why most of the time you attract, when they say you attract who you are, it's because your energy that you have, the energy field is around any people. It's around the energy that is around the energy. Oh, let me drink water. Oh gosh. The reason why you attract a narcissist when you are not a narcissist is because it's true that you attract who you are. How? You don't have to be mean like him. You don't have to meet other people and be mean to them. You don't have to manipulate other people. You don't have to do that in order to be exactly as narcissist. But within yourself, you're lying to yourself. You're lying about other things. Like, for example, you can be lying to yourself about Babylon. You can lie to yourself about it can be a simple thing, like when you will think it's something simple. For example, when you're getting a red flag about someone, you are lying to yourself when you're saying, it's not that bad. Oh, everybody have red flags. Oh, you know, you don't know him like that. You don't know how I know him better than anyone. He's not like that. Yeah, those words. You're actually lying. You know the truth, right? But you keep on lying to yourself, and that's why narcissists lie to you. It's because whenever you start speaking your truth, it's whereby a lot of people who actually toxic walk the shit away from you. ever since I started speaking my truth, ever since I started to say what exactly that I always or that I always usually keep on my mind, a lot of people just eventually at first I was like, why? And I've realized like a lot of people goes to whenever you start to speak your truth, because now you are not giving the necessary supply, you are not available, you're loving yourself, you're prioritizing yourself, you have boundaries now, you have a lot of things to take care of, you spend your time alone, you're no longer operating from anxiety, depression, and being anxious all the time. Whenever you're being anxious, you're attending your anxiousness. For example, when you're anxious, sometimes you're anxious because of your reason. You don't just get anxious for no reason. um you get anxious when you're starting something new, right? You get anxious when you are preparing for whatever that you want to do. Even I get anxious with doing videos, and because I attend it, I'm like, okay, I acknowledge those feelings. I'm like, okay, and then I attend whatever that make me anxious because it need my attention. I get anxious whenever I don't attend my emotional need. I end up being anxious because probably I need to try it, but I keep on saying like I'm okay, I'm okay. And the next thing I'm get anxious and become angry for no reason. So you know what does that mean? That means there's something that I need to address. So you know what, addressing my anxiousness, it led me to what, to know who I am, what is exactly within myself, what is actually going on within myself. So when you stop being operating from anxiousness, because nurses love to you when you're anxious, that's why they rush you for whatever reason. That's why they don't trade foundation, because you're an anxious person. Maybe you end up thinking like maybe you're overthinker because there's something that you like, you're having a lot of things to say that are actually not true about yourself. So yes, you're no longer available for their supply, and that's why they disappear. That's why most of the time, whenever you're speaking your truth with a narcissist, they ghost you, or punish you in terms of silent treatment. Whenever, or maybe they end up hitting you, it's because you're speaking. They want you to be quiet. Be quiet. It's like be quiet. You know, they get angry. Like be quiet, or they beat you to the point that you feel like, oh, maybe there's something's wrong with me, maybe I was wrong, and apologizing for what? For nothing. You didn't do anything wrong, you just spoke your truth. It's just that your truth was being triggered them, because nurses don't like honesty. So you didn't do anything wrong, there's nothing that you've done that is actually off. It's just that you happen to speak the truth. So when you speak with a narcissist on a phone, that's why you've got blue tick when you're using WhatsApp. You see that they send your whatever that you said, they choose to ghost you. They choose to block you even. They block, narcissists do block people. When you are not available for whatever narcissistic supply that you're searching, and you're in your empowered energy, you are your empress, your emperor, obviously they're gonna ghost you. Have you ever wonder why they ghosted you? I think I've wondered, like I've wondered why they do that, why they do that. And I ended up realizing every time they ghost me or giving me silent treatment, it usually when I spoke my truth. Where eventually it's because I said something that was truthfully, and as truthful as it was, they were trying to arrange myself, my gut feeling, to the point that I end up feeling like I did something wrong. I need to apologize. So don't worry, they do get doing good. They do get their karma. Eventually, we all do. Whatever that you're doing, you're gonna get karma. Whatever that you're putting out there, you're gonna get it. So, yes, be mindful. There's a difference between vulnerable and self pity. So, whenever that you come across someone and you met them for the first time and end up giving you self pity, and mind you, those people want to stay in your life. Well, I will understand. Sometimes it's easy to be vulnerable with a stranger, and then being vulnerable with someone that you know. Sometimes you just want to vent out on someone, and that someone you don't know and you never met them, it's the first time, you're just venting, and then you have no desire, both of you have no desire to be in contact again, because you just want that one stranger. Because conservation with strangers sometimes is really dope. It's something that a lot of people should normalize doing. So when you met someone, they don't give you any opportunity to talk. They just talking. They are self-pity. You see, my life is there. is my life is this, my life, why life is so hard. Like what? Like, oh, maybe I should have your number. Oh, like, because they want you to feel sympathy. They want you to feel, to have sympathy for them. That's what they want you to experience. They want you to have sympathy. They you having sympathy toward them. It's another way of It's another way of a narcissistic, giving them that narcissistic supply. They see that you are actually available whatever for whatever when they come at you and say their friends took their money, or their friend, oh, I don't have anything at home, and you know what, I want to there's something I need to be at and I don't have clothes, and you end up giving them clothes. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I can't come out. Oh, whenever it's your birthday whatsoever, they get angry at you for no reason, because they don't want to do anything special for you on your birthday. They don't want to do anything. They just get angry at you, or they don't call you, or maybe they say something like something went wrong, or their phone get lost, or whatever story, sobbing story they're gonna have. It's just sobbing stories, excuses, excuses. Nothing gonna come out in their mouth that is truthfully. So they do get that come up. Lying to yourself for years, it must be heavy. Doing shitty things, it must be heavy. Not having conscience as a human being, it must be heavy. Like, just think about living a life with no conscience. Living a life, not that narcissists don't get shame. Like, for example, there's this narcissistic child that I actually know. She's actually 8. I was talking to her and I'm like, okay, like she got no shame, and I was trying to understand why they got no shame for whatever they do. That's why they brag about their shit doings. It's because they don't have no shame, and I've realized there's no such a thing as they don't have no shame. It's just that they are so entitled. Them being so entitled, it helps them to be have no shame. It help them to not be conscious, because in their head all they told themselves that they have the right to treat other people the way they are treated. They have the right to be mean to other people, because they deserve all the good shit in life. They feel so entitled in manner of like, I deserve this. So that's why you end up asking yourself why they don't have conscience, why they have no shame. It's because they already programmed themselves to be entitled. Whenever they're entitled, that means no responsibility. Whenever they're entitled, it means that they don't have to look within themselves. Whenever they're entitled, they have a right to say you fucked their life up. They have a right that you ruined their life. They have a right to say you did this and that with their life. They feel like so entitled. It's the entitlement that they have that is so nasty, to the point that they don't see shame whatsoever. Because I remember I was asking this kid, I don't remember what I was asking about. She did something so dirty, like so evil, and I was like, why are you doing that? She said something like, she just said my language. She said kunani. In my language, it means when someone say kunani, it means I don't know how to translate this. Um, kunani. It's more like, what's wrong with doing that? Yeah, what's wrong with doing that? So what's wrong with doing that? Like, there's no conscious, like, there's no conscious in this child, and there's no, she doesn't see anything wrong. She's like, she laughed and like, what's wrong with doing that? And I was like, they have no shame, guys. They're so entitled. They're so entitled. That's why they're putting people in pain and have no responsibility in them. So they are so entitled. I'm sure whoever that is actually there, who's wondering why they never apologize, because they feel so entitled to hate you. They don't feel so entitled to do whatever they did to you. They feel like, what what's wrong with that? Just like that, what's wrong with that? And then with the love, that evil love that they do. I'm not saying they love the same way, but whenever you are around narcissists, notice how they laugh. It felt so fake. It felt like it recorded on some way or somehow. It felt so fake. We end up most of the time in a room, they end up being the last person who's actually laughing, and not laughing because they are genuinely feeling it, because they want other people to see them. I'm not saying everybody will, because sometimes you can laugh to the point that you end up being the laugh. No, I'm saying like their laugh is kind of laugh that make you feel stop laughing and just wanna look at them and be like, what? Like it's so evil. Like it's so evil. Like but anyway, thank you guys for liking, for watching, as well as for subscribing on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate the love. I'm grateful. So whenever the content is for you, if you feel like my content is for you, you can subscribe, you can like. So bye.